Man, listen, you know, people only start to respect you when you go ghost, man. And this is definitely something that it's a power play. It could be seen as that. If you look at the book, 48 Laws of Power, he touches on it, but it's not even about power or leverage over anyone. It's just about learning psychology of human nature. And there's something so important about understanding that because we want to be respected. We deserve to be respected. And and I say we because I believe that you could probably relate. I can operate out of respect for someone, even if I'm spending an extended amount of time with them. For some reason, this is not really how most human beings are. The more time people spend with somebody, the more they take them for granted. And I think what I've done in my life, I think I've taken people for granted as well in my life. And what I did was I started waking up and doing practices of gratitude. So if I'm super grateful, I'm going down the list of things that I'm grateful for. The people that God put around me, I'm going to be thankful for that. I'm going to be grateful for them, if that makes sense, right? Because I'm naturally going to start listing, well, okay, thank you, God, for shelter, for food, for water, and for those that pray for me, for those that care for me, for those that love me, for those that are around me. Okay, cool. So we got that understood. It's a daily practice for people to start respecting you on a different level. They have to be the ones to have a daily practice or something where they're remembering, yeah, I'm grateful to be around this person. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't do that. And the point that I'm making, the point of this video is that usually people start to respect you when you go ghost. People start to respect you when you start focusing on yourself. People start to respect you when they can't spend all day around you. And usually when people spend so much time around you, they take it for granted and they don't really realize what they have in front of them. And that's unfortunate. But that'll never be me. I'll never take anybody for granted, and we should practice not doing that. But it is important for us to understand if we do want more respect, you do have to create some sort of separation. This goes for family as well. People who have moved out of their parents' house, they tend to report a higher respect that begins to happen. Their parents start to have more respect for them simply because they're just not around them as much. I've seen that too. And that's life. And that's just human nature. We respect things that we don't see often because we don't see it often. And if you were to see something often, you might lose respect for it. My favorite artist is Kendrick Lamar. I saw him when he came. He had he got a tour, the GNX tour. And I seen him once before. My mother took me to see him in concert back when the Damn tour was going on. So I seen him. First time I seen him, I was like, bro, this is crazy. Like, he's real. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is another human being. Okay, cool. Second time I seen him, it was still crazy. It was still crazy, but it's like, yeah, I've seen him before, and it's still great to see him do his thing. But what I'm saying is, if you were to hang around your favorite artist 24/7, the allure might change. For some people, they start to take things for granted. It starts to become their life. There's people who will go see him or another artist or go see Beyonce. I know people who have seen Beyonce 19 times in their life. Every time she's on tour, they go see her and they go to the city next door. Now, ain't no problem with that, but the allure might start to fall off because it's like, oh, I always see her in concert. So that's just a small example. Human nature tends to respect less when there's more, when there is an abundance of. It doesn't make it right, but that's just how people are wired. And so what can we learn from this? What we can learn from this is stop giving more than what's required. And it doesn't mean that you can't be a good person. It doesn't mean that you can't, go overtime if you have it. You know what I mean? But you want to make sure that you're filling up your own cup first, and you want to make sure that you're pouring into yourself. Don't overdo it for anybody, because at the end of the day, they might take you for granted. They might take your presence for granted, and they might have nothing of value to really offer you, right? And it's not about materialistic things, but it's just about understanding that the number one currency that we have is our time. That's one of our resources that matters so much, because we never know when that resource is up. Only God knows. So when we're spending time with people, we want to make sure that we're getting equal value back, something back that can also, that we could take with us. It could be wisdom. It could be knowledge. It could be great conversations that push us forward. Unfortunately, though, I think that what we're seeing in society is a lot of people are taking a lot of things for granted. A lot of people are not practicing gratitude, and it's unfortunate, but we should never take anything for granted. There's people that might have taken their job for granted. Every single day they woke up, I hate my job. I hate my life. I hate that I got to get up and work. And then, but when you look around in society and you realize, oh, yeah, a lot of people are losing their jobs or they can't get a job. Yeah, let me shut up and be grateful for my life. So I think it's a gratitude problem, y'all. Like, I think that we have a gratitude problem. It's not necessarily like, oh, this is just how it is and this is how it's always been and this is how it's supposed to be. I don't think that this is how it's supposed to be. I think that people are supposed to be grateful for your presence, but that's just not how it works all the time. And that's more about the individual than it is you. You just keep being you, but be you. Give people less time of you if respect is what you are looking for. If you're looking for more respect, if you believe people are taking you for granted, then I am of the belief that you should spend more time with yourself, pouring into yourself and giving your time, energy, and space to the people that really want to be around you. Give your time, energy, and presence. Presence to the people that really want to be around you, that really want to be your friends, that the people that don't take you for granted, the people that aren't trying to use you. So be careful who you spend your time with, and just understand that respect seems to be significantly more heightened when there's separation involved. When you spend less time around somebody, they are more appreciative that you are there. And I just wanted y'all to understand that, sometimes we put ourselves in situations where, we're around a group of people but that group of people, they don't really respect our presence the way that they should. And to me, respect is something that's huge. Respect is a big thing. If there's no respect, then, respect is step one. Respect is the foundation. If you don't have respect, then we can't build upon that and have love or have peace or have anything. Respect is what starts the foundation. And so if there's no respect, we don't have nothing. We don't have trust. We don't have love. It's like I don't know you. You don't know me. It's just not right because you don't respect me. So it's just important for you to set the standard, that, yeah, I'm going to take care of myself. I'm not going to overextend myself for anyone, especially when they are not showing signs of respect. People starting arguments, people talking nasty to you, people raising their voice at you. It's a lack of respect. It's like, you better know who you're talking to. Like, I've never spoken to you in that way. I've never disrespected you. Why are you attacking me in that way? What is your problem? Like, and people have problems, bro, that they have to fix. And it's like, when you're around them, if they don't respect you, essentially, they're just not on their best behavior. They don't treat you like a guest. They treat you like an everyday person. It's disrespectful. We should always treat people the right way, and we should always care for people, and we should always be thankful for people's presence. We don't do that. That's not good. And the best way for you to take your power back, the best way for you to garner that respect back is simply by making sure that you are doing the things that you need to do for yourself, making sure that your cup is filled first, and then you can worry about other people. You have to take care of yourself, bro. And a lot of times we don't do that. We think, oh, everything will work out. Everything will be okay. I know this person is grateful for me. And then all of a sudden they start disrespecting you. It's because they're taking your presence for granted. There's a lot of people back then I would give my presence to. I give my presence to a lot of people back then. But, I realized, man, it's like, am I giving my presence to myself? And some people might think that's silly, or some people might say, what does that even mean? It's like spending time with yourself, man, like that matters. we try so hard to spend time with other people. If you got free time in your schedule, you think that if somebody say, hey, can we hang out, that free time is not your time, that it's somebody else's time. Nah, bro, you've been working nonstop. Like, sometimes you just need that time to sit on the couch and relax, bro. You know, you don't want people to take you for granted. Then they start disrespecting you and they start talking out their necks. You know, it's all about respect over here. So your presence really does matter. Where you put your presence at matters. Where you go matters. You know, those things matter so much, because you don't want to find yourself in a situation where you just surrounded by a whole bunch of people that don't appreciate you. But when you start to go ghost, and when you start to focus on yourself, when you start to do the things that you need to do, that's when people start respecting you. Once you start doing the things that you said you were going to do, that's when people start respecting you on a whole different level. And that's what I'm trying to say. Like, what I'm trying to say is, once you finally put the camera focus on you, you know, once you finally start giving yourself the time and attention that you so desperately need and deserve, you know, once you start to accomplish your goals and dreams, that's when people start to focus on you. You know what I'm saying? That's when people start to lock in on you. You know, that's when people start to say, oh, he's really doing it. Right? And we got queens watching too. She's really doing it. Shout out to the queens watching. You feel me? It's purpose-driven people all across the world. But a lot of people don't understand or relate to it. So when we finally put our purpose first, they're saying, oh my gosh, you know, why haven't you been around? Why aren't you at the clubs? Why can't you party with us? And it's because, you know, hey, I'm partying with my purpose. I'm doing the things that I need to do to carry my life to the next level, fam. It's either you going to join me in that, help me with that, or you just going to sit down and criticize me all day. What we going to do and what is it going to be? It's either you purpose driven as well or not. You know, I wrote in my book, there's a passage in my book, and I said that, you know, we should have requirements for who we have in our life. Why would I want to have somebody that's not purpose driven and not locked in my circle? That's going to mess up everything that I'm working on. And it's so true. And I believe that passage was in the chapter about setting boundaries. It's important to set boundaries. The book is called The Purposeful Man Playbook. It's out on Amazon right now. So you can go check that out. But, you know, it's important, man. Like, we just can't hang around everybody. Facts. You have to hang around the right people. You have to hang around the right groups of people. And they have to be adding some sort of value to you. And when value is not added, it's wasting your time. It's wasting your life. Value does not just mean money or wisdom or anything like that. It's not about taking from somebody. It's about a mutual energy exchange where y'all are just flowing together, having good conversation. They're pouring back into you. Like, things like that matters, bro. And if you feel good when you hang around somebody, if you feel good, then they're giving you good value because they're making you feel good, bro. You know, they appreciate your energy. They appreciate your presence. But why would we want to be around people that don't appreciate our energy? Why do we do that? Why are we around people that don't appreciate our energy, man? It's not right. It's just not right. So when you go ghost and when you start to focus on you, everything changes. Everything changes. People start looking at you different. People start looking at you different, you know, with more admiration. You know, when you leave your hometown, I've left my hometown, you know, people start respecting you different. They start seeing what you're doing different. It's like, okay, he's really focused. He's really locked in. He's really just doing him, you know? So, you know, I just wanted to come on here and let you know that that's how people work, man. If you feel like people aren't respecting you, if you feel like people are taking you for granted, trust those feelings. That probably is what's happening. And the truth is, it is time. Time for what? It is time for you to just truly lock in, you know. It's time. It's time. It's time for you to go ghost and just focus on yourself for a little bit. It don't got to be for a long time, but I promise you, when you just focus on you, you start to see things differently. You start to see life differently, you know, and you start to get the results that you're looking for. You start to get the results that you're looking for. You know, we all want to be the best that we can be. We all want to be purpose driven. We all need respect as well when it comes to those that we hang around. We don't want people to take our presence for granted. So sometimes you just have to remove yourself, you know. I'll tell you something funny, and we'll end off on this. When I was in college, I never really went to college parties. I went to like one, and I never went. But everybody would go, and every weekend it was the same thing. And there would be girls that would speak about it, and they'll say they already know who's gonna be at the party, because they always partying. Like, they already know who the people are at that party. And I was laughing. I'm like, that's funny. And the truth is, people pay more attention to who's not there versus who's there. And I always been the type, you know, I always said, I'm just locked in on my purpose, on my goals. Like, I got big dreams. And if, you know, if I have big dreams, then it requires big attention. It requires attention. I got to give it my attention. And I don't know what other people are doing who always party. Like, I don't know where they at in life. I pray that they're doing good. All I know is I'm here and they're there. And it's better to have locked in for all these years than just partying and drinking every single weekend. Every single weekend, bro. I ain't saying you can't party, but every single weekend is crazy. You know, at a certain point, you got to get serious about life. And for me, I was always serious about life, because the real fun is looking at your bank account and knowing that you got something there for safety. The real fun is being able to travel whenever you want. That's coming up. Me and the wife, that's her luggage back there. Pink suitcase, if you didn't peep already. Traveling, you know. The real fun is being free. Doing whatever you want with your time. That's the real fun. That's the real luxuries of life. And the truth is, it's not really fun to worry about, like, what everybody else got going on. That's not really fun. It's not really fun to be partying 24/7. It's not fun for people to start disrespecting you because you always in their face. It's time for you to get up out people's face. Get up in the gym. Start working out. You see my weights back there? Everything I say is real. It ain't no facade. This is real life, man. We just locking in, doing the things that we got to do to take us to the next level. I appreciate you for watching. Resources for you to grow and be the best version of yourself will be below, you know. But thank you for being here. Make sure you subscribed if you're not. I appreciate your presence. Unlike some people, you know, I appreciate your presence. I appreciate you being here. Peace.